Good morning, everyone. Dr. Stillman here today. I'm excited to talk about programs at my practice. So, what are programs? When I stepped into the world of functional medicine, I discovered something really interesting, and that was programs. A program is a program of care in functional integrative medicine, whatever you want to call what I do, where we bundle a lot of things together: appointments or clinical time, group coaching, labs, supplements, even medications, although we don't bundle those in currently. And you give patients a better price on the bundle, the whole program, than if you were to sell them to them a la carte. I discovered this because a mentor of mine was using this model at the time. And what I found when I started to use this model myself was that patients got better results faster. And the reason why is that because we've bundled everything together, we're able to hold people accountable and people show up and really do the work better. So that's why I have programs at my practice. Now, as you can probably appreciate, programs end up looking more expensive on the front end because it's a whole price with all kinds of things bundled into it. But what ends up happening in a la carte practices, which is what most functional and integrative medicine practices still are, is that people end up paying more in the long run for their care. And they actually wind up on this kind of treadmill of constantly spending money. And they're not sure how much they're actually going to be out at the end of the day in 3 months, 6 months, a year for their program of care. So that is why I created and launched and still offer programs at my practice. And that's what today's live is all about. So, why are programs incredible? So, as I mentioned, what happens when people do a la carte care is that often they'll come in for an initial consult and then they'll end up, getting recommended $1,000 in labs and maybe $1,000 in supplements. And what I found personally was that when I operated as a patient on that model of care, I felt like people were sort of always upselling me and always upcharging me, and always there was some kind of hidden thing that I hadn't counted on. And this left me feeling really uneasy about my care. And I have a goal in my practice of 100% patient satisfaction. And, I can't be all things to all people, but I'm going to do my absolute best to deliver on that. And one of the things I've found is that I can't fix everyone of everything, right? That makes sense. All I can do is try and be as upfront, transparent, and honest with people about what I do, what to expect. And people are happy so long as we meet their expectations or we exceed them, and they understand generally that individual results will vary. And what I found with the a la carte model is that often people were not only felt like they were constantly being upsold or upcharged, but they also felt like there wasn't really transparency. And they often didn't realize that things they didn't understand were critical for their results. Let me give you a very clear example. Many people have come into my practice over the years and said that they were skeptical of the group coaching concept that we offer initially. They didn't see the value. They didn't want to do it. They wondered, well, what am I going to get out of this? I'm already a naturopath, a chiropractor, a nutritionist, a coach, you name it. And what they found when they got into the group coaching calls is that they were very, very productive. They were very impactful. I've had more than one patient say that 25% of their results came just from joining the group coaching calls. And it's even been more than that at times. So why am I explaining this? People often don't realize what it takes to get the results they seek. The beauty of programs is I can bundle everything you need to achieve the results that you want into one simple, coherent program. And all you have to do is hit the sign up button, book the program, and then everything is built in. The appointments are scheduled. We're going to hold you accountable. The labs are included. The supplements are included. Everything is included, right? Now, the other thing that this does for us is that the people who are not serious bail on working with us rather than committing. And I'm okay with that. I don't begrudge anyone going anywhere that they feel is best for their medical care. But you'll find that a lot of people who get into trying to fix their chronic medical problems with functional and integrated medicine, they're not really serious about getting results. They just want to try another supplement or another biohack or another this or another that, when often what's required for great results is fundamental diet, lifestyle, and behavior change, as well as all the other things we might offer or recommend, like bioidentical hormones, supplementation, biohacks, etc. Right? So what we found is that this makes sure that the people we're working with are serious about getting results. And I really care about getting people results. I would rather work with more serious patients who are more dedicated to getting those results or getting great results than work with less serious patients who don't commit, show up, and do the work. So less serious people or unserious people bail on us, and we're okay with that. People who do commit go all in. They show up, they do the work, they maximize their chances of success. And part of why I still offer programs in the practice is that the best testimonials that I have in the practice invariably came out of programs that I've run in the past. And that meant that people who were getting really great results, incredible results, results they hadn't gotten with other practitioners, they were in programs. Now, I also offer memberships, which I explain in another video and another post. And without getting into what those are and how they work and how they're different, they just aren't as structured, they aren't as rigorous, and they aren't as intensive. That's right for some people, but if you want to make significant, durable progress, you need a program. So let me explain why that concept is so important. So people come to me generally with chronic, significant health issues, and they've often seen, on average, 5 doctors before me, which means that we not only have to find things they missed, we also have to have on hand therapeutics that they didn't know about and that work better than what they'd already done. And that requires a lot of us. What I found with programs and how they really fundamentally work is that they help people to really have that level of support to actually get those kinds of results by engaging with the level of diet, lifestyle, and behavior change that is necessary. Hopefully, that makes sense to all of you. I've also seen patients go with the membership rather than the program and not get the results that they were looking for. And so the way that I explain this to patients is essentially the memberships over here are for 5 to 25% incremental improvement per quarter. So every 3 to 4 months. And the programs are designed to get people 50 to 90% improvement subjectively, their own words, in 3 to 6 months. And we ask that question, generally speaking, I train my staff to ask that question specifically of people who are considering working with us in order to help them understand, well, do I need a program or do I need a membership? This is basically expectation management. It is not reasonable to expect of us to reverse severe chronic illness in a membership because rarely do we have the level of accountability that we need. Sometimes people are a good fit for memberships who want to do that in 3 to 6 months. Generally speaking, those people, though, need programs. It's very much a case-by-case basis. That's why we don't just let people book these things. I had very bad experiences with that in the past. You have to go through a practice membership evaluation for us to make sure that we're on the same page, our expectations of each other are reasonable, and that we really feel confident in taking your case. If we don't feel that we are the best practice to serve you, we will refer you out. And that does happen probably 1 in 10, maybe 1 in 20 of the people who inquire with us. We think there's a practitioner out there that we know, that I personally know, who can serve them better. So that is why we have programs at the practice. Now, something I want to explain about the pricing of programs is really important to me. I've had patients come to me who've done programs at other practices and were very disillusioned with it because they felt that they'd basically just been sold. And I shoot for 100% patient satisfaction. We're very much a trust-based practice. We want referrals from patients. We, want patients to renew with us. The majority of our patients do renew after their first year in membership. And so I decided that I wanted to really set a new standard for transparency and authenticity in how we price our programs. I've seen a lot of people offer programs like this online without this level of transparency. And I feel that I can only really have the level of trust from patients that I have and that I want if I go through this process of explaining how we mark things. So how do we price our programs? I take the price of everything you would be purchasing from us, and I calculate it based on if you didn't know where to shop, which takes work. I regularly see patients wasting hundreds or thousands of dollars on supplements, labs, and medications, let alone imaging studies like MRIs and ultrasounds. They're wasting that money because they don't know where to shop. I spend a fair amount of time and some amount of money figuring out where to get better deals for patients. So I extend a better price on what I negotiate to them to honor the fact that they're jumping into the program. So we're going to get a big fat list price over here when we calculate the cost of a program. That's really what would happen if you went out there, didn't work with people who you could trust, and were taken advantage of. Now, many of these things are just the retail price. This is not even marking them up that much. Then I take the price that I extend to my members. So I run a membership-based practice. You have to be a member to book an appointment. You have to have an active membership with a monthly membership fee. That ranges right now from $40 a month up to, $240 a month, depending on which tier of membership you're in, let alone the programs, which are more expensive than that. But the point there is that what we do is we have a member's price for labs, supplements, and consults. And the other benefit to being a member is that you can get in to see me within 2 to 3 weeks. Sometimes you can get in the same week. Most functional and integrated practices are booking out 3 to 6 months. I've heard of practices having a 3-year waiting list. And in my experience, and why I run my practice differently, is I want to be able to offer a higher level of service and see people faster, because I think that's critical for getting them great results and also keeping them healthy. And if anything happens to them, they suddenly have an accident, they suddenly have a new health diagnosis, I want to be able to see them quickly so that I can take care of them and help them navigate what is often the most stressful acute illness or of their life. So we have a members only price, which is much lower than the retail price if you don't know where to shop and you go elsewhere. And then we add a program discount to that to honor the fact that you're making this big investment with us. And that's how we create programs and price them. Essentially, how that ends up working out is you're paying my team and I for our clinical time and expertise and for the systems we've created to help you get well, which I think is what's most valuable. And we're essentially covering the cost of things like shipping with what the labs and supplements are marked up to. So that's how we mark the programs. And that's part of how I run my practices very transparently. So again, who should commit to a program? People who want to make significant durable progress, 50 to 90% improvement in 3 to 6 months should commit to a program. Again, it's not that you can't get the same results in a membership. I just haven't found that to be as likely. I designed the programs with this in mind. I do want to mention a couple more things. The programs are mostly all-inclusive, the same way that an all-inclusive resort is all-inclusive. You don't go to an all-inclusive resort and say, I'll have a massage every single day, and I'll have Dom Perignon for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and I'll have ribeyes 2 times a day. Those are things that are very expensive, and so they're not included in the room rate. And we have things in our programs that we'll recommend, like more expensive lab testing that's very specialized, or supplementation that not everyone needs, that people purchase in addition to the program. Some people in the past have been upset that that wasn't really clearly communicated, so I make a very clear point of communicating it to people now. Next thing is I do care that people have time to commit to a program. Some people are too busy for a program to make sense, and those people need a membership. And we help sort out whether or not that's you on the practice membership evaluation call that we do to help you figure out which program or membership is right for you. So that's that. I hope this helps you pick the right program or membership at our practice. I want to give you a quick idea of what the programs basically include and entail. So the programs, and this is all subject to change. I do change these to try and improve our results, which we do track actively. So we're actively in an ongoing way tracking how good are our results, how happy are our patients, how impressive are our clinical endpoints. So each program right now, 2, 3, or 6 months, you start with a 1-hour initial consult with me. 2 hours later, you have a 1-hour initial consult with Eva, my health coach or registered nurse. Then you have monthly 25-minute follow-ups with myself and monthly 25-minute follow-ups with Eva, our health coach and registered nurse. You get an HTMA and a comprehensive wellness panel to begin with. And then the 6-month program, you do 2 rounds of lab testing. So you'll do a second HTMA and a second comprehensive wellness panel at the month 3 mark. And then we give you another round of supplementation. You get monthly nutritional balancing supplements that are based on your HTMA and a month supply of X39 LifeWave patches as part of the program on an ongoing basis, because we just see these things synergizing so well. They give us such great results. Again, there's additional supplements and lab testing that may be recommended. They're not included. The 3 and 6 month programs also include 3 of my favorite additional supplements, vitamin C, MSM, and iodine. And we'll walk you through in that the protocols for how we use those things. You also get access in all these programs to our proprietary online coursework. I haven't published this anywhere else. It's exclusively for members of the practice at this time. So what are the costs and the savings of each program? So the list price of the 2-month program, if you didn't know where to shop and you went somewhere else and you bought all this stuff off the shelf at the worst price, is $6,611.40. Our program price, what we've negotiated and what we charge patients when it's bundled together, is only $2,962. The 3-month program, list price $7,775. Program price, if you jump in with us, $3,685. 6-month program, list price over $10K. Program price only $5,400. So I do my best to not only offer transparency to people, I want them to know what they're buying, and I want them to understand why I set it up the way that I set it up. And I also want them to know that we're also negotiating for them on their behalf to pass on the savings that we can access as a practice to them to honor their commitment to their well-being, their wellness, and to working with us as their medical practice, which we consider an honor and a privilege. So hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully it helps you understand which program or membership is right for you. Thank you everyone for watching and joining me today. I look forward to serving some of you as your physician with my team here in the future. Take care, everyone. Have a great day.